Hello all, and finally I finished the G1. Took a little longer than I thought. I was hoping I'd be able to do this video on Sunday night, but was not to be, um, because I wasn't able to see Night 8 before Night 9, and then when I was getting ready to watch Night 9, I fell asleep, basically fell asleep, set my alarm so I could wake up in time to watch it, and I woke up and I overslept, the alarm didn't go off, and I only got to see the last half. Everything from Devitt and Kojima on, I got to see live, and so I had to see that, so it took me a little longer than I thought. And being at those last two nights, and it took me a while to get through them. Um, but that all said, New Japan's G1 tournament, round robin, 20 guys, pretty freaking awesome, and that's an understatement. It was awesome, not pretty freaking. It was awesome. Probably three show of the year contenders on. I would say show of the year, but show of the year contenders when within the span of 9 days, or in the span of 11 days on 9 shows. So that's not too shabby. Only one really bad show, and that had more to do with the crowd than it did with the actual wrestling. Everything else was good to great, just not as great as the other 3 shows. So yeah, I would honestly say if you've wondered why everyone keeps streaming and going, "Ooh, New Japan, New Japan, New Japan," and you're okay with the Japanese commentary. I know that's a big. I'm not one of those people that come on here and say, "Oh, well, if you like it, you'll like the Japanese commentary." I get that to watch a full show, there's a difference between watching matches. I would definitely say the finals. Uh, Tanahashi and Naito. Um, I think even if you don't like Japanese commentary, I think that match you won't care because the Japanese commentary does actually add a lot to it. But I do get the watching a full show with Japanese commentary with very little English, if any, can be annoying, and I get that. And so I'm not one of those people that come on here and go, "Oh, you should be able to watch the whole thing," because I kind of understand that. But other than that, I would say if you can get past that, these are the 9 shows that I would say to watch because I think it introduces everyone very well. On top of that, I mean, I will tell you, Yujiro, for one, was a guy I was not looking forward to necessarily seeing in this tournament. And by the time the tournament ended, I was like so happy to see his matches just because of his gimmick with his porn stars. Just was really awesome. Yano still could give 2 shits about. We'll be completely honest, but I think if you look at the tournament, I think it was booked pretty good, considering what they like to do, which is make everything kind of even Stevenly. Which I don't know about that. I think it would have been nice to have at least one guy kind of break away from the pack on at least one of the 2 blocks, but that's not what we got. Um, but and the booking of and other people have talked about this too, but it really was noticeable to me on night 8. The booking of Okada on these shows was really kind of weird. You would think you would want him to look a lot stronger, and I say that only because it was kind of like in the back of my mind, and then when he came out before Tanahashi did on night 8, it really stuck out that you know what they really have not treated him like the champion on these shows, and I don't think that's right. I think that's when WWE does that to guys, I complain, and so it is only fair if I do that to New Japan too, no matter how good they're doing. I think that was a mistake as well to do that. So, eh. um, but really, other than that, and other than them, probably beating each other's bodies to senseless, and how what that does. This was awesome, no doubt about it. I think just about everybody I knew that did not buy the $150 package felt obligated to buy the finals just because how great the show was. And I would definitely say, if you've not bought the show, you've seen any of the shows, you definitely owe it to yourself to buy the final. Only because I think they were that good. And I think that if you truly, want to support a product, New Japan is giving you the chance to support their product, then you definitely should go out there and do it. But, the matches for night 8 and 9, you can see below. They did add on night 8, they added a tag match, which it was not good, not okay either. It was almost okay, I would say, but there you go. If Kushida hadn't been in there, I think it would have been horrid. I'll put it that way. Now, the what's funny is the tag match that was on night 9, which was not part of the tournament, which was let me just run off the names, and you'll understand. Akebono and Sakuraba, who were supposed to be originally in this, and then they added Ibushi, took on Iizuka, Yoshi-Hashi, and Ishii. And they added Ishii to this because he, with Tenzan and Goto being out of the tournament because of injuries, these two didn't have a match. They were out of the running anyway, so they stuck him in this tag match. This tag match, and I said this on Twitter, and I say this lovingly, even though it doesn't sound like it, this was like, I think, Mike Quackenbush's wet dream of a wrestling match. You had Akebono in there. You had Sakuraba in there. You had Iizuka in there. And not that Sakuraba was bad, but that you had those three kind of gimmicks going on. Then you had Ibushi and Ishii kind of in there doing their thing. You had Yoshi-Hashi kind of just there, to be honest. But this match was so much better than it had any right to be, and it was really awesome. Akebono, I know people, often go, Akebono's going to be on, but really he does do what he does amazingly well, and it's always a lot of fun to watch, I think. And Sakuraba was not the Sakuraba we normally see. He was much more of the gimmick Sakuraba. He had like boxing gloves on and was, being kind of a cartoon of himself. It was basically a very fun match, and came off, to my opinion, extremely well. So much better than it had any right to be. But yeah, everything else on the shows were, tournament matches. You had Davey Boy Smith and Prince Devitt, which of course all the Prince Devitt matches had so much crap in them. And by the end it did get old, but I knew going in that's probably what we were going to get, and I was kind of okay with that. Luckily, the Anderson matches, we didn't get that in, so there was that. I do think that if you're going to look at guys that came out looking much better than going in, I think, Yujiro, I cannot pronounce his name to save my life, came out looking the best, in my opinion, to me. And I don't mean that in like, I think, Tanahashi probably came out looking the best, but as far as guys that elevated themselves, I would say he was. I would definitely say Lance Archer and Davey Smith Jr. also. They had really good showings. Of course, you had Ishii, and of course, you had I cannot talk to save my life right now. You had Kojima, just, I don't know. The dude was just like, I'm going to show you young kids how we freaking do it, and went out there and just did it. But yeah, it was just awesome, and this whole tournament was great. As far as Naito winning, I think everybody in the UK and the US would have much rather seen Shibata win, but we are like that much of their audience, so we don't count, unfortunately. And so Naito won, who was big, and it was over, and it was crazy, and all of that. And so it was evident that he was over enough to have won, but I'm not, him on the Dome show, if that's what they do, just doesn't sound very appetizing to me. Now if Kenta is also on the Dome show, then which there's like this much of a chance that might happen, and if that happens, I will be a happy person, depending on who he takes on. But yeah, So, you know, I'm kind of indifferent about that, I would say, so as far as that goes. Not my choice. I don't think most people's choice over here as far as guy who, you know, we saw as should have went over. But again, he was mad over in Japan, so I can completely understand that. But anyways, point is, if you've not seen these shows, go see these shows. And I say these shows. I'm not saying, I know a lot of people are, you know, picking matches to go see, and that's fine. I understand that. But honestly, particularly night night four, night four, night 8, and night 9. I definitely would say, go out of your way to see those whole shows. The rest of the shows, I would also recommend going to see. And like I said, if you've always kind of wondered what all of us that talk about New Japan are kind of getting all excited about, I think if you watched all 9 of these shows, even night 5, which was horrible because of the crowd, I think you will get why so many of us get excited about New Japan shows right now. They're on an amazing, 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 amazing run. So, anyways, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. So, with that, I'm out. Later.